Hello and welcome to Gardening at 58 North. In this video I would like to show you how to properly deadhead a rose. So deadheading roses is very important because if you leave the flower on the rose and you don't deadhead it, what will happen is the rose will start to form a rose hip and it will put its energy into that and it won't produce any more flowers. So it's important that you regularly deadhead your roses, as this will encourage more and more flowers to be produced throughout the summer. So this is a good example of a rose which is ready for deadheading. You can see some of the flowers here are starting to go a bit brown and they're getting really quite faded. You can see this one in particular is really looking like it needs deadheading. So I'll bring the rose a bit closer and show you exactly how to do it. So if you have a branch which has several flowers on it, such as this one here, you can see there's 3 flowers on this rose here. So if you have a rose head like that, what you need to do is take this one, for example, which needs deadheading, take it all the way back to where the stem meets the shoot here, and cut it off right at the bottom there. And then I'm going to do this with this one. I'm going to cut it right back to this stem so that it can allow the other rose to grow, just like that. So when you've got more than one rose, that's how you do it. So you just take off to the stem so you've still got the other roses that are going to grow. If you have a rose head though, such as this one over here, which is just on its own, it doesn't have any other roses attached to the stem, and cut this back a bit harder. So you'll have a look at the stem and you'll notice it has several leaves coming out of the stem lower down from the rose. What you want to do is go down 2 or 3 leaves, and you want to have a shoot which is facing away from the center of the rose. The reason for that is if you cut it where the shoot is next to the center of the rose, they will all grow together and it'll be a real mess and it will be quite congested and you'll get disease problems. So you follow it down and you see this little leaf at the bottom here is facing away from the center of the plant. That means the shoot will grow, the new shoot will grow out from that way. So you want to follow the stem down and cut it just above that at a slight slant. So I'll show you closely there. That's the cut I've just made. And you can see just above the stem. And what will happen now is there'll be a new shoot that will grow out of here, and that will produce the next rose. So you just go on throughout your rows, cutting them back like that. And you want to cut down and say at least 2 or 3. If you just cut it off to the next leaf, what happens is your rose gets taller, gets a bit leggier and gets a bit weaker. You want to cut down at least 2 or 3 leaves. As I said, if it's a rose with multiple, if it's a stem with multiple roses coming out, just cut back to the where it meets the main stem. And if you continue like this with your rose, you should be able to get lots of flowers throughout the whole summer.